All right, it's been quite a while since I got to ride a ZX6R, and I really like the color scheme so far and the changes to the front nose. Let's get this startup in here finally with the newer upgraded dashboard like my ZX6R has. Very cool. So we come with a quick shifter. Damn good looking bike. Nice. So ergos, I am legit flat footing on a 600cc motorcycle. That is pretty cool. Looks like we do have our traction control, which is badass. We have a quick shifter up, not down, ES of course, and a lot of it's going to be adjustable for sure. I love the range thing, guys, where we actually get what average speeds we're getting. My ZX6R does all this as well, and battery. Oh, so ergonomics, this definitely feels the same as my 2018 did, no doubt. I can feel that my feet, at least balls of my feet on the pegs, the feet are just barely towards the end of my ass, so it is not insanely aggressive. And the tank is a little wide, but it feels very nice. Nothing negative about that. As for the forward-leaning position, definitely it's aggressive, but it's not like R6 aggressive. It is actually kind of comfortable. If you're coming from, oh, nice quick shifter, I like that. But if you're coming from Ninja 400 to this, you will definitely be very aware of the forward-leaning stance that I'm getting out of this motorcycle. Not that that is bad, it is awesome. Especially if you like to ride track, you will really enjoy already having a position like this. Now, the main difference I would say is everything needs to be adjusted, and let's face it, sooner or later you're going to want to change ergonomics. I have found with almost every single motorcycle I've bought and rode, even though stock right here, I don't feel like I need to change this. I could take it to the track as is and have a great time with it and feel like I am in the stance I want to be in, which I think is freaking rad. And of course, let's face it, it's a, oh man, I miss being on a 600. You know for sure that the 4RR has that fantastic sound and it's a lot of fun to ride, but man, look at all that mid-range torque that this motorcycle gives us. Is freaking cool. We don't get that with the 4RR. So that is probably one of the biggest and long-time coolest things about the 636 is that it isn't a normal CBR or R6 style motorcycle. Oh yeah, man, that pickup. And the cool part is, like, I'm not at 11,000 RPM. If you want serious power out of 4RR, you need to be around 11,000 RPMs to get it. And this motorcycle, as I was trying to say before, you get mid-range power out of this inline 4 super sport motorcycle. Hence why it is such an awesome stunt bike, because stock, you're not having to be at 11,000 RPM to get any power out of the motorcycle. This thing kicks on much lower. Now, the negative to that is, in this style bike, with the way it's set up, you got a little bit more grunt down low than normal. I say normal, meaning CBR 600, Yamaha R6, Gixxer 600. You're going to get a little bit more power down low, and the majority of the power comes in mid-range, which is awesome. But with that being said, it also lacks in the top end of the motorcycle. Hence it not being the most common to see out in race series like Moto America because of that power plant. But I do have to say, if you're looking at a 600cc motorcycle and your plan is, I'm not looking to race, not that this wouldn't be an amazing race bike, but if your plan is, I'm just street riding or I'm stunting, oh my god, this thing is legit. You are just enough in a aggressive position to feel like you're on a race bike, yet it's not so aggressive that I couldn't ride this for a while. For example, I have a Yamaha R7. I raced it for last year's CRA. It is a great motorcycle, I still have it, but it is an aggressive position. As much as I love that motorcycle and feel that the power plant is perfect for the streets, this is the next best option if you want a bigger bike than an R7. You're still getting the comfort, you're still getting some mid-range power, and you're still on a badass super sport with good traction control. Now, it is dummy traction control, meaning it doesn't have an IMU, so it doesn't know if it's at lean whether or not it should be taking traction control more or less, basically. For example, you'll notice if you leave your traction control on really high and you try and take off from a stop sign, you will feel this bike's traction control kick in. And the reason for that is it is ABS based. So it's using ABS sensors to accomplish traction control. Now that is something that, since I've done a lot of track riding, that I don't like. And the main reason for that is no matter what's happening, whether you're giving up too much throttle or using too much throttle or not using throttle at all, if you're on throttle, your traction control will work. If you're off throttle, your traction control is not really going to work. It's not going to be able to cut power when you start losing that front tire. So it's just something to keep in play. It's dope that it has traction control. Is it the best traction control? No. So we talked about ergos. I don't think there's a lot to talk about when it comes to the engine. This 636 engine has been around a long time. It is a proven, awesome engine. It sounds amazing, feels amazing. The bike is still not drive-by-wire, so it's still physical wires driving this thing. So you get a very real throttle response out of this thing. It's not an electronic system trying to control this throttle. So that being somewhat of an older style, starting to fade out, I would say, but yet a lot of the problems with the newer drive-by-wires is they're just too sloppy and they don't work amazing. And a bike like this, you don't got to worry about that. That throttle is solid, it's there, and you're going to get great feel out of it. So the quick shifter works great so far. I would say most of the time a quick shifter is going to be fine. Usually auto blippers are the question of functioning well or not, in my opinion. I know that you could maybe get an IRC or something like that if you're looking for an auto blipper for this motorcycle. You can get stuff like that, which is cool. And in most instances, I'd say you just don't need it. I don't know if it's worth the close to $1,000 price point and the heavy nightmare of dialing in that auto blipper to make it work perfect on this motorcycle. I don't know if that's worth your time, energy, but it is an option. It's out there. Man, I wish we'd just go a little bit faster. Oh man, she feels so great leaned over too. Oh, quick shifter is nice, guys. That is very smooth. And look at, we're at 6,000 RPMs. We have tons of power here. The ZX6R at 6,000 RPMs, if I just did that little crank, it wouldn't go anywhere. So you are definitely getting quite a bit. Now, a lot of people will complain heavily because price of the 4RR versus price of this thing, you get so much more out of this motorcycle when it comes to power, but that isn't always the best thing. If you're not an experienced rider, this is not a motorcycle for you to begin your journey on at all, in my opinion. So who is this bike for? Who should buy it? That's always a good question, guys. I would say this is for your experienced rider. You've been riding for a year or more. You know what you're doing. You have throttle control, clutch control, brake control. You're not afraid to use your front brake. You're not still stuck on your rear brake only because it's scary to use the front brake. Those are all things you transition through as you go. And I would say you need to be a confident rider, in my opinion, before you hop on something like this, because this is undoubtedly a rocket ship. When I had my 2018, the reason I got rid of it and the reason why I dropped down to an R7 from this bike was every single time I got onto this motorcycle, 6 o'clock in the morning, trying to go to work, I'd hit 130, 140 miles an hour just getting on the freeway. The exhilaration and sheer enjoyment you get out of cranking that throttle and pounding gears out of this motorcycle is absolutely fantastic, and you will enjoy every minute of it. And like I said, not having that wind up that you gotta have on the ZX6R, CBR 600, the ZX4RR, you have a wind up. There's power right here on this motorcycle in lower RPMs. That's huge, guys, if you're looking for it. But it's also very dangerous, very intoxicating, and you will get your ass in serious trouble. But that's ultimately why I got out of the ZX6R. I know that I am a terrible street rider and I enjoy the power that a motorcycle provides you. And I say that even though you want something like this, I think you need to spend some time on a Ninja 400, an R3, something like that, enjoy plowing through the gears, having a great time, not exceeding speed limits everywhere you go. First gear, this thing will hit 84 miles an hour. I would think, anyway. Mine did from 2018. Run her out to 80, 84, tag in second gear, you're up to 105 or something like that. Third gear, you're at 115. It's like, Jesus. And it happens like that, guys. So definitely be careful with a motorcycle like this. If this is something you're gonna get, like I said, make sure you're experienced. If you're looking at buying a 600 and you're dead set and you want some comfort, here you go. This is a comfortable super sport. Probably one of the most comfortable. I always thought my CBR 600 was a little bit more comfortable, but I don't know. This new design of the newer one, I'm digging it. I like it a lot. If I wasn't buying an R9, I would be considering this right now, as I do want to bump up into a 600 series super sport class at some point in time. But now we get to test out some Freeway. Let's face it, she's undoubtedly going to be a beast.
Throttle to get there. Like, come on, guys, this thing's ridiculous. Alright, so let's feel some tuck here. The windscreen's a little low, but I will tell you, I'm barely feeling it on the top of my head. So if you're in a good tuck, and this is a comfortable tuck for me. I got my knees in, I got my elbows on my knees right now. I could rock this for a long time. This is way more comfortable than my R7. Now, sitting up, this ain't too shabby either, to be honest. It's on my chest right now. I'm taking it like a champ right here. The wind protection is probably not the best, but as for leg wind protection, the fairings are wide enough on the sides to where your legs are getting some serious. We didn't talk about is how playful it is. Now that's always a big one for me, and it is like, it still feels like my 2018. It's a little bit rigid, sticks, like it's a little less playful. Now don't get me wrong, at higher speeds you're going to be very happy about that. It's very stable, but it doesn't like to just dip in and tank in. Now that's probably the rake of the motorcycle, but like I said, that also helps drastically when we're talking about higher speeds. But man, this thing is freaking rad. Honestly, if I wasn't buying the R9, I think this would probably be my next motorcycle. I like the fact that we have all this. So we were only getting 31.9 miles per gallon, at least for the average of this motorcycle. And it being a demo bike, it's not going to get great fuel mileage with all of us hammering on it, but 31.9, if you're a rough rider, I would say, is probably what you could expect. I guarantee you, if you're nice on the freeway, holding 6th gear, you would be fine. Now, if I remember on the freeway with mine, what was cool, at least when it came to passing or splitting through traffic, I didn't have to drop 2 to 3 gears like I did with my CBR 600, or I do have to do with my ZX6R. And that's just simply because there's more torque in this bike down low, or mid-range anyway. So that's another reason why this bike, at least for a super sport, makes more sense than say a CBR 600 or similar styled motorcycle. It's definitely a trade-off, right? Do you want more high-end revving, high speed, or do you want a little bit more torque down low? It's all kind of debatable and up to you what you're interested in, but when you're talking about a super sport on the streets, it's pretty much the best one in my opinion. So thanks for hanging out with me, guys. I hope you got a little bit out of this little short review. This is a fantastic motorcycle. I know you'll enjoy the hell out of it. And of course, thanks to Central Coast, Yamaha, Kawasaki, Suzuki for actually doing this for us, because we don't normally get demo days in our area, and they have came through again. So I'll see you guys next week. Bye!